It Is What It Is a sports podcast started by Cameron and Mace, two rapper MCs that were synonymous with the New York culture in the 90s. Now, a little bit of a side note, it's really hard to encapsulate everything these guys have done in their music careers into one sentence, and even more difficult when you add on top of that all of their achievements outside of music. I would highly suggest reading their Wikipedias and learning more about the two, as they have a long-running and interwoven history together. Today, they are prominent media figures and the hosts of one of the most popular morning sports shows. In this video, I'm going to break down the 4 reasons their show stands out from the rest, and why I go to these two experts over anyone else. Reason number 1, comedy. My favorite part about the show is how fun it is. Every episode is filled with infectious laughter that has me joining in. One of the best gags on the show is a staple of New York culture, the pause game. When one person on the show accidentally says something that sounds a little suspect, if you know what I mean, another person immediately calls it out with the word pause.
Three, you be up under the covers like Mike is a Freddy
Mike
Krueger.
coming.
Mike,
Yeah. Pause. That was crazy. Cam, we trying to be serious.
Yo, I'm just, all right.
This verbal game is something that all New Yorkers participate in, regardless of the context. Another thing that Cam and Mace regularly do is tell stories about their past, often finding a loose-ended way. Loose-ended?
Pause.
Often finding a loose-ended way to relate their experiences in the music industry to the world of sports and entertainment.
I had these fresh Air Nikes on, and then Puff had on Air Nikes too, brand new. I made a mistake and stepped on this sneaker. I said, man, my bad, because I had stepped in some dirt. You know, the Puff came back, put his feet in the dirt, and stepped all over my sneakers. I said, yo, what are you doing? He said, my bad. Basic, the moral of the story is, nobody just want to hear you say you're bad.
Not only are Cam and Mace comedians, but the laid-back atmosphere they created allows for their guests and co-hosts to wild out too.
Let me ask you this before we get to that. Are you better than Jason Tatum in your prime?
Jason Tatum pretty hard, so I'm not gonna say that.
Hey, yo.
Tatum is hard.
Welcome to the show.
We wouldn't know nothing about that.
Which leads me to my next reason. Reason number 2, co-hosts. It Is What It Is wouldn't be the same show without its co-hosts. Their co-host, Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, or Stat for short, is a breath of fresh air when compared to other female co-hosts in the realm of sports talk shows. She does good research and brings up trending topics that mainstream media isn't aware of. She has also mastered the ability to moderate, keeping Cam and Mace's conversations focused on the topic at hand, while also not interjecting herself too much, like some other female co-hosts. Molly.
You can't sit out. You can't get around our system.
How do you know it's that deep? Maybe they just didn't like the offer.
You can't get around. Oh, that's your opinion. This one is mine. You can't get around our system.
Later, Cam and Mace brought ex-professional athletes onto the show to assist as analytical experts. They hired legends like Maurice Clarett, Mark Jackson, and even O.J. Simpson. As I watch more episodes, I learn more about these individuals as people. Personally, more than I'd like to admit, I forget that athletes are people too. Off the court, they have real responsibilities and hardships, just like you and me. Listening to the words of these retired athletes taught me to have more empathy for other people and not be so quick to judge. Furthermore, my sports acumen has grown tremendously after hearing their insight. While these guys may no longer be playing, the knowledge they have gained from their time playing is limitless. Not only this, but the way they conduct themselves and articulate their points of view offer that missing ingredient of professionalism that Cam or Mace don't really like to provide that often. Obviously, I'm not addressing the controversy that these 3 people have been involved in the past, one in particular. But what I will say is this.
What I'll say is this.
Cam and Mace brought them onto the show for a reason. They believe in second chances. They don't listen to the masses and prefer to base their opinions of others on their own beliefs. However, living this way and sticking to your beliefs isn't always peaceful. Keeping it real can often lead to confrontation, which leads me to my next reason. Cam and Mace never duck smoke. Throughout their time on the show, both men have gotten into disagreements with the athletes they talk about. Rather than hide from it, both men address these instances head on, and will often use these moments to add more fuel to the fire, throwing shade back at the insulted players. These two guys know exactly which strings to pull, and how to come out on top of every verbal back and forth. Both Cam and Mace made a living off of these types of interactions, and are no strangers to a war of words. They are not worried about making enemies with the players, coaches, or any celebrity for that matter. They're successful and don't have to worry about losing their jobs and their livelihood like most of the other TV hosts in this field. Now, that's not to say that they're out on a hunt to make enemies and be mean to people. It's quite the opposite. Both Cam and Mace try to give advice to others, but the problem lies in the fact that not everybody is willing to accept said advice. While the way they address these athletes may seem disrespectful, their intentions are good. Regardless of the arguments they may put themselves in, they're committed to providing their unfiltered perspective. At times, this can even lead to disagreements between Cam and Mace themselves. Despite the arguments and troubled past that these two have, they always make up and find a resolution by the end of the debate. Which brings me to my final reason. The story of Cam and Mace is one of friends turned rivals, turned back into friends. This resonates with the underlying theme of it is what it is. They promote the idea that it's never too late to change. You can always make up. You can always better yourself. You can be who you want to be, and you can do what you want to do the way you want to do it. But if you ain't with all of that, then I guess it is what it is. Real quick before I tie this video up, I just wanted to give a shout out to Big Nick Energy. They make some cool merch, which is where I got this awesome Nick's hoodie. I really like it. Really comfortable. Pretty cool. I've never seen anyone with anything like this, so it's pretty unique. It says Big Nick Energy right there, and then Nick Set, which is a play on Dipset for the Diplomats, obviously referencing Cam, so I thought it would make sense to wear it for this video. After I ordered it, it came in, say, about a week later, and yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with the product. So I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below if you guys want to get something like this for yourselves. This is not a paid promotion. I just really like the hoodie and really like their merch products, so maybe you guys will too. And as always, I hope you have a good day.